Hello everyone, it's Virgil. And sorry I'm about to be cutting over the cutscene.
Half a month after the incident at Corellia Fortress, a sense of lingering unease still hung over the Empire.
Yeah, I had to speak over this cutscene due to the one part where it wouldn't let me either say or skip. So we're going to talk over it.
The government increased patrols by the Railway Military Police as part of their counter-terrorism measures, while the Noble faction bolstered their provincial armies. There were even rumors that they'd hired several Jaeger corps.
This is only happening because I'm having encoder issues.
At
I'm
the
hoping
center
I
of
fixed
everything
it.
was the Imperial Liberation Front.
OLG.
They had allied
You were
with a
great.
terrorist group from the Republic of Calvert to attack the trade conference in Crossbell. And as we'd seen firsthand, had attacked Corellia Fortress in an attempt to fire the 2 railway guns stationed there. They'd made it abundantly clear that they were no mere insurgents. These were dangerous people we were dealing with.
Of course.
And following their attempts to target Chancellor Osborne and the Reformist faction,
I believe this is chapter 6 now.
rumors started to spread of
should
a
be chapter
possible
6,
connection
because when I
between
last
the
checked it was
Imperial
chapter 5.
Liberation Front and the Noble faction itself.
So we should be very close to the
New
end.
information was filtering in from Crossbell that surprised us all. During the conference, one of the representatives of Crossbell's state government made the daring declaration that Crossbell would soon declare its independence, breaking free from its neighbors Calvert and Erebonia.
If you are not a complete country of its own, it is impossible.
To no one's surprise, both the Imperial government and the Noble faction dismissed it as nothing more than delusional raving. But one thing was clear: that declaration only served to increase the tension in Erebonia and across the continent.
But yes, if you're noticing some frame stuttering, that's some BS. Probably because I've been updating my graphics card. I should just built me a new PC, but I was, nah, I ain't gonna be doing that. I'm too busy.
On a cool, clear autumn day, the Academy's prestigious board of directors gathered for their first meeting of the year.
This part is a lot of cutscenes. I'm only saying this because I was testing out my freaking new settings. The conference room. It's Bob Van Dyke.
And that concludes my biannual report.
Good, good. It seems the Academy is running like a well-oiled machine. No administrative issues to speak of.
What you mean?
Student performance is sitting comfortably above the national average on exams and on general aptitude tests, too.
The second-year students seem to be having a banner year as well. The Student Council president, in particular, has built up an outstanding array of extracurricular achievements.
Rufus.
Well, she attended last month's trade conference, and from what I hear, she put the professional secretaries to shame. I only wish the conference could have ended on a more
Positive note.
I'll say, the share prices of my company have been on a real roller coaster ride ever since.
Undoubtedly, what happened at the trade conference has wreaked havoc on the economy as a whole.
This lip did not sync correctly.
But moving on. I couldn't help but notice in the recent exam reports that Class 1 and 2's academic performance seems to be slipping.
Say what?
Perhaps the preferential treatment given to the upper class students is hindering their scholastic development?
Scholastic, so that's how you pronounce it.
Well, students belonging to the nobility are allowed to return home during August to learn more about their family's lands. It's a tradition here, but one I can't help but wonder if we've outgrown the need for in this modern age.
If I may, traditions accumulate and hold meaning only so long as they're preserved. Our nation's culture, its arts, its social classes, all are rich with tradition that makes Erebonia what it is, and I believe we have a duty to protect and uphold them. After all, does not this very institution champion the ideals of its founder, Emperor Drykles?
Drykles.
Indeed it does.
Call him
Though I've always
Dachos.
understood Drykles' intent to be the founding of an academy for the people. Even 200 years ago, when education was seen as the province of the nobility, male commoners were permitted to enroll. Today, we have plenty of young women attending, and the commoners easily outnumber the nobles on campus. Perhaps it's time we started taking strides to realize Emperor Drykles' true ideal.
That should have already been fixed
You
a
seem to be
little bit.
laboring under a few misconceptions here. Commoners were permitted to attend, but only as retainers. Retainers served knights, who served lords, who served the emperor. That's the way the Erebonian society functioned. From that vantage, the structure of the academy in its earlier days certainly seems to have embodied that social order. And if that's so, what is there to suggest that it's not the social order itself that has become the aberration?
Well,
For one, if that were the case, it would be far easier for me to see my views put into practice. But I can hardly get a word in edgewise between you two. Well, I'd certainly enjoy a
still
return
say
to the way things
silence.
were in Drykles' time, at least in that particular respect.
Our apologies, Your Highness.
well, our role here is to consider your views and work toward implementing them.
See what I mean? Would you be so kind as to help me out here, Principal?
I'm here to moderate this board. It wouldn't do for me to express my position on the issues at hand. That said, I'm sure your passion for reform will triumph in the end, Your Highness.
I suppose I should have known better than to look to my old teacher for sympathy.
What are you laughing about, Mike?
Warms my heart to see such a fine teacher-student relationship.
Obviously cares.
Now, if I may, I'd like to steer this discussion toward a rather timely topic. We've already touched on the issues regarding the Orbal Net and the Orbal Staves, but I'd like to stress again that the adoption of new security measures for the Orbal Net should be a top priority.
Well, I'm certainly inclined to agree. But we'll have to rely on the Foundation directly, as things are looking a little shaky with the IBC.
You can leave that to me. The other matter I'd like to review is the use of the Orbal Staves and the Arcus units. Or more specifically, we need to talk about how Class 7 should operate from here on out. Setting aside the fact that
was
my
weird.
daughter is a member of Class 7, I think we need to reconsider how the class should be run, in light of what happened at Gorelia Fortress. While it certainly proved an excellent chance to see what the Arcus units are capable of, I have serious doubts about whether we should carry on with these field studies, given the current political climate.
No more field studies?
It would be difficult to do so, I admit. With the terrorists at large and the problems in Crossbell unresolved, these are uncertain times.
At the very least, I believe it may be in the class's best interest to cancel this month's field study. We can
No.
always resume them once the terrorists have been arrested and the situation in Crossbell calms down.
Why did he go, but then he speaks right here?
Arise, O youth, and become the foundation of the world. I'm sure you all recognize the words of Emperor Drykles. They become something of a school motto here. It's my belief that Class 7's actions at Gorelia Fortress perfectly embody the spirit of that directive. They
Almost
stood
had to choose
together
the
to stop a
fight.
tragedy in the making and, in a sense, protected the foundation of our world.
Our world, what don't you mean?
No
Your
one
nation?
ordered them to do it. They took action of their own free will, because they knew in their hearts what was right. Some might call it recklessness. Some may think it rash. Some may even venture to call it hubris. However, as chairman of this academy, I'm incredibly proud of what the brave young men and women of Class 7 achieved.
Your Highness.
Oh. She's just worried
Troubled
because her
times
daughter.
may lay in store for Erebonia, and for the entire continent in the months and years to come. But I believe that makes something like Class 7's field studies all the more significant. The experiences they're having now will help them find the strength and the means to press on through adversity. I can't be the only one who feels this way, can I?
They do seem to be showing remarkable growth. That much is true. Although I have no idea how much my daughter is really capable of, immature as she is.
I could say the same of my hothead of a son.
I do wonder about my brother sometimes.
What you mean? Half brother?
However, it does seem that enrolling at this academy has helped him start breaking out of his shell.
Let's resume the academy. Feels cities.
With the Academy Festival coming next month, we hadn't even planned a field study. So the issue at hand is just whether to hold a field study at the end of this month or not. I'd like to ask those in favor of going ahead with this month's field study to please raise their hands.
All four of them's gonna raise their hands.